Do this. Welcome, Buckies.
I feel like I'm looking like a little red top rooster tonight.
Oh. Somebody been the Buckies. Oh.
What up, Bucky? What else did
Yo,
you get
Wildin'.
the t-shirt?
Yeah, what else you get besides the t-shirt? You went and got that sandwich, didn't you?
Well,
you get in there.
I I've had the t-shirt quite some time, so I didn't go to Bucky's today. I just threw the t-shirt on. But anytime I go, I normally do get a couple of sandwiches. You know what I'm saying? It's Bucky's.
I was overwhelmed. That was like the Walmart of gas stations. I was like, what the fuck? Why is all
my God.
Man, they have like 100 gas stalls. I was like, geez, Louise. Listen, I was like, why do I need a shopping cart? And when I went in, I was like, oh.
You get down there and find anything in there.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho, so I got two things to pop out here tonight. One was I got a message. Well, Gypsy, I think you got a phone call about last week's episode too. I think you said
I did.
So one, I got a message. So I have to explain what was happening last week. So somebody messaged me and was like, what the fuck was Gypsy talking about? And why were you trying to hold it in and not laugh? Like, we need to be in on the conversation at this point. So I was like, okay. So what happened was we always kind of pregame, right? We are checking up behind the scenes before we go live. We're catching up, making sure that we still feel good about the topic, whatever else we want to make sure we cover. Like the conversation's just all over the place in it. And then we go live. And so I was sharing with Gypsy and Sean last week that one of the things that I was being mindful of now is to call my energy back from a lot of people and experiences that I don't feel like are really, I'm not going to say worthy, but don't need me. They don't need my access. They don't deserve access, right? And I gave the specific experience that somebody that we never officially dated. It was somebody that I talked to very briefly. I was very honest that there was some things with them that I just felt like I couldn't really date them, but we were cool and we did hang out for a short period of time, right? So what ended up happening was we still kept in touch, checked in on each other over this past year. And because we both have businesses, I'm always of the mindset, like if I'm cool with somebody and I know you have a business or a service or you got a hustle or whatever it is, when I come across somebody that can use that, I'm going to tell them.
Right.
And so, I have sent people his way. He's made some money off of people I've sent to him. And so anyway, I send the link out to the podcast every week, right? So he messaged me and was like, and I'm gonna fix it a little bit and just keep it very generic, but was basically feeling some type of way, like you're not fucking with me. Why you just want me to see you and be thinking about you? Like what? So I said, oh, we can fix that. Blah. Because if the only way that you feel like you can support my business or my podcast or whatever it is that I do, if the only way that you feel like you can send good vibes my way is if I reward you with access to me, that's a no for me. I don't care if it's a man or a woman, right? I feel like that's a no. Anybody that's going to be around me, there has to be some reciprocity. There has to be some benefits. So I was like, so y'all, that's what I had told them that. And that's what Gypsy was kind of getting into. How she got there from the conversation we were in at that moment, only Gypsy knows that. But
because, see, sometimes the people in my head say, hey, You know, this sound like what we was talking about earlier. It shows me.
You almost made me spit out my grape. See, I can't even be mad because my brain be doing that too. Like, this is a good time to say that stupid shit right there. You know you should say this right here, right? Piss him off. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel you.
And see,
But
don't
so, yeah,
be trying to figure out my mind because, honey, you would like drive yourself crazy trying to figure my mind out.
It's a scary place up in there, y'all. But word of advice, though, take that and use it how you can. Like I said for myself, I was like, oh, I can fix that for you. Block. There's no need for us to even have access or keep in touch because I've been in business not wanting anything, not expecting anything, just on the strength that I believe in you. If you can't reciprocate that because you're upset because you don't get access to me to spend time with me and see me, bruh, let me go and put you out your misery.
Yep. Blockity block, block, block.
Blockity block. We are worthy of people in our life that want to see us succeed just because they want to see us succeed, right? We are worthy of people in our life that want to help us get bigger, to be better, to be bolder, to be more powerful. And everybody can't do that. So sometimes we got to hit that line.
Some people don't want you doing better than them.
That's the truth too.
I mean, let's just go on and keep it real. Like they just don't want you doing better than them.
Period. That's the truth too. Y'all, I ain't gonna even lie. It was something else I was supposed to say and I forgot what it was. So Gypsy, you said you got a phone call from somebody last week about the show too.
Yeah, and actually it was a text message. And what she said was, "Bitch, I know my shit ain't boring." I was like, what the fuck is she talking? Oh, the podcast. And I was like, you know what? Y'all got to stop coming in our inboxes and our text messages and stuff. You sneaking and watching, and then you don't want nobody to know you watching, but then you want us to know you watching, so you text or call us. Or you text or call us during the show because you got something to say. What? Listen, y'all better learn how to create. Y'all better learn how to create you an alias in this daggone YouTube environment so that you can be on here. You don't have to have your picture up there or anything. And you could just chat with us. But what you not finna do is text us throughout the show or throughout the week trying to get us to say what you want to say.
Because I get a lot of upset folks like, I know you saw my text. Why you didn't say such and such? And I'm like, well, see, what happened was you should have sent it to the main inbox so they could have got it too and somebody else could have shared it. I mean, I don't know what you want me to say. But I remembered the second thing I was going to say. Okay, so I get asked a lot. I've had this question several times. How do I stay so encouraged? Because it's a shitstorm out there right now. Like it's a whole shitstorm. So I get asked a lot of how do I stay encouraged? How do I stay focused? So I want to share a situation that just happened to me Friday morning. This is how my life works. This is my mindset. This is how I keep myself functioning and going, right? So I woke up not feeling great Friday morning. And I really had to push myself like, okay, I'm going to get up and go for my hike. I'm going to get it done. I got shit to do. I had errands I want to run. Just kind of mapped out my day, right? And I kept lollygagging. This matters. I kept lollygagging. And then finally I was like, let me get up. So I think I left the house about 8:30, pushed myself, drunk a Mountain Dew, got out to the hiking trail. Finished that, did about 5-6 miles. So I was exhausted by the time I left there, but I'm like, I can't go home. I got to get this other stuff done. So I mapped out my route in my head, knocked some stuff out. I said, let me run into the grocery store. I walked in. No, it was Walmart. I walked in. I had one specific thing I wanted to get. I was zoned in. Y'all know how you get tunnel vision, right? Like all you see is that thing. Peripheral just kind of fades, right? So I walked into the store, walked down one of the aisles, and I passed this older woman, maybe in her 60s, in one of the motorized cars. I noticed her, but I was zoned out. So I kept on going. And I just kind of filed it in the back of my head, like, that's interesting. Okay, moving on. I go get my item, come back up to the front, check out, walk out the door. Spirit was like, turn it around. I was like, And I knew I had to go find this lady. So I walked back over to the last place I had seen her. as I was walking past her to go to the checkout, one of the store employees was talking to her. And I did say, like, hey, can I help you? Are you okay? Do you need anything? She was like, no, I'm fine. We're just chatting and catching up. I said, okay. She complimented my shades. I kept it moving. So when I went back to go find her, I went back to the spot they were in. They were gone. So I kept looking and found the employee. And I said, hey, the lady you were talking to a few minutes ago, do you know where she went? She said, no, she went that way. I think she was going to check out. I said, Spirit told me to bless her. I really need to find her. So we went on a hunt through the store to find this lady. Find her. Yeah, it was the whole thing. Find her. And she's rolling back up to checkout. And I'm like, hey, do you remember me from a few minutes ago? She said, yeah, the shades. I said, yes, ma'am. I said, I promise I'm not insane. I'm not going to hurt you, but I would like to bless you. Like, I literally walked out the store and Spirit stopped me and I had to turn around and come back and find you. Can I bless you? And she was like, are you serious? I said, yeah, yes, ma'am. Can I walk with you up to the checkout? We walked up to checkout. She starts to tell me what's going on in her life. And there was a lot. So we get up to the checkout and she has all this different stuff. Well, that's back up. That's why she had been sitting in the spot. I thought she was kind of looking at her list or looking at her phone. She was in her mind running numbers, trying to figure out what she could afford to purchase. So she had stuff for her granddaughter's birthday. Her daughter, she had just dropped at the hospital to have surgery. She needed to get stuff for her. She needed stuff for her at home herself. So she was like, I was literally trying to figure out, I got everything, but then I was trying to add it up and figure out what could I actually afford to get. I said, okay. So we get to the cash out, the checkout. And I said, well, can I touch your stuff? She said, yes. I'm gonna go ahead and put everything on the counter. So she was like, no, I can't let you pay for that. That's my daughter's stuff. You want to bless me, just pay for my stuff. I can't ask you to do anything else. I said, I'm gonna just put it up here. Let's just see what happens. Because I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing. I'm literally saying, okay, like somebody up there better start talking. Anyway, long story short, the cashier's kind of catching on to what's going on. She said, what do you want me to ring up? I said, how about this? Just ring it up till I tell you to stop. She said, I could do that. So she keeps ringing up and the lady's like, oh my God, that's too much. Okay, are you sure? I said, just ring it up till I say stop. We got everything rung up. It was a few $100s. So I paid for it. So she kind of broke down for a minute and I said, it's all good. Can I walk you out to your car and help you get your stuff in your car? And she said, yeah. So I did that. And when we got outside, she really broke down and the tears came and she started to tell me exactly what was going on. And, another piece of the story, she's got to have some major surgery in a couple of days. So she's trying to figure all of this stuff out. She doesn't know how she was going to get the groceries, want to celebrate her grandbaby's birthday, the next day, like all these things. And she said, I was at the point of just breaking down and wanting to give up. And I said, let this be your reminder. God is always moving. God, source, spirit, universe, whatever it is that you believe in, whatever it is that you pray to, let this be a reminder to you that it's always working and there's a miracle always coming. There's a blessing always coming. Because I don't know you, wasn't thinking about you. And I had to stop in my tracks and turn around and come back, right? So I'm sharing that because I live my life with the mindset that it's a blessing to be a blessing. I don't always look for anything from that person, but I live with the mindset that it's a blessing to be a blessing. So no matter what seed I sow, no matter what good I give, it's always looking for a way to come back to me. That's how I think, right? And so I know that if spirit stops me to make me turn around and go find a stranger in the store that I don't know what they're going through and to pour into their life, then surely whatever I need, whatever I'm asking for, it's happening, right? So that's how I keep my mindset healthy and all the crazy that's going on. That's how I stay sane. That's how I stay focused. That's how I stay encouraged. Is I'm always just keeping that top of mind in the same way that I stopped her and I gave her a bit of love and gave her some hugs in the parking lot and just, held space for her for a minute. There's somebody always doing that for me, right? So I can't tell you what to believe. I can't tell you guys what to hold on to, but that's how I live. I always look for the good and I'm always circulating good, sowing those seeds so that my garden stays thriving, if that makes sense. So hopefully that helps somebody. I want to make sure I answered that question too, because I do get that a lot. And that's one of the reasons we don't talk about a lot of the political stuff happening. Y'all get that everywhere. It's all over the internet. You can find it. We want this to be a place where we can laugh. We get serious, but we can laugh and we can still talk about all the other things in life that we need to be thriving into. So that's what y'all get.
So, today it's kind of funny that you talked about that, because today's topic is you hear me but you don't feel me. And I was reading something and it led me, long story short, she was talking about finding out what kind of spiritual woman she was, because she was no longer feeling her husband, right? And so I went to do it's like a little quiz that you do.
A quiz?
And yeah, it's a quiz that you do. And long story short, so I'm not going to get into my background, but let's just say that when my mother passed away, me and God, we just wasn't on the same page anymore. It's not like I stopped loving him or whatever. I was spiritually angry and disappointed. And so I did take this test because I really want to get back to where I was before my mother died, right? And when I took the test, it said that I was a Ruth-like spiritual woman. So those of you that, know the word or whatever, you probably know what I'm about to say, but I'm going to tell you what it says the key traits are: unwavering loyalty, humble diligence, and deep faith. Choosing to trust God even in difficult, unknown circumstances. And see, I did choose to trust God. My mother had pancreatic cancer, but he still took her. But that was me in my spiritual infancy thinking, well, if I'm your servant and I've been doing this and I've been loyal and all of these things, then why did you not honor my request? Right? And sometimes, just like when Jay was saying that she heard spirit tell, we can actually hear and feel spirit when spirit tells us to move. And sometimes we don't want to listen. Sometimes we just don't want to listen. And you'll pay for it if you don't listen as well. Just like you'll reap when you do listen, it will be hard on you when you don't listen. And it's just like in these times that we live in now, God, universe, whatever, but you better latch on to something bigger than you. Because right now, we about to go through it.
Yeah. It's a lot going on. Also, let me throw this out here. To me, this is why community is so important, right? Because life is a beautiful fucking mess. That's the best way I know how to describe it. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And it's also painful and traumatic. And nobody gets out of this experience unscathed. We're all going to get through it with some battle scars. But in the midst of all of that, there should be a lot of beauty that you're able to experience and a lot of good that you're able to experience, right? And I think a big part of that comes from the fact that we have people that love us and that nurture us and that pour into us. One of my besties called me today when I answered the phone. I was like, "What's up, big head?" And she started laughing and, talking about something else. And it's you gotta have people that want you to laugh, right?
Right.
You gotta have people that give you space to be messy and come apart and be the chaotic experience of yourself, but at the same time want to see you in your greatness. And so all the things going on outside, all of that, your community makes all the difference. That's why we talk so much shit to one another. That's how you relieve stress. Sometimes we crack jokes, but we also hold space for each other. That's why we do this podcast. Listen, can I be real honest with y'all for a minute? Okay. this is me, full transparency. I feel like I look like a fucking rooster tonight. Like my hair stuck up on top of my head because I'm supposed to be going to get it braided tomorrow. So I had to shampoo it and let it dry out and not put anything on it so it could fluff up. And, you know, my curls could stretch out and make it kind of afro texture and all of that, just to make it easier for her to braid tomorrow. I don't want to be out here looking like no goddamn rooster, but because this is important to me, because this is important to us, and I wasn't finna wear no scarf. I ain't feel like it. It just is what it is. So I went the
Listen, Bam Bam. No, let me stop. I mean, because you dress like the Flintstones over there. You got nerve to talk about my damn scarf.
No, listen, I really had a scarf pulled out today, okay? I had a whole scarf pulled out, and I was like, nope, don't care. I ain't putting it on. They're going to get all of this, okay? And this is why I could crack jokes on Gypsy, and I could be out here looking like a rooster, because, like, we want y'all to have safe space. We are part of y'all's birthday.
I'm laughing because now I cannot unsee it, because you do look like Pebbles with that one shoulder.
Yeah, I had started to say something, then y'all was like, got all you know, into whatever. I don't talk religion or politics. I don't do that shit. So I was just sitting here being some eye candy, letting y'all talk. That's all.
Hey, we ain't mad at the sexy thug. We ain't mad at the sexy thug at all. Okay. Listen, Sean is our resident corporate thug, and we love the chocolate eye candy every week. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Heads up to you, Sean. What's up, Rob? How you doing? Hey, Alicia. Thank y'all for joining in. Rosa, you said, oh, what was you saying? Oh, to what was we talking about? Who knows?
Probably because she saw Sean. He pull his beard like this.
Was he doing the stroke? Yeah, the chin stroke. You know,
the stroke. He do the chin stroke.
Yo, okay, so I had somebody today ask me who I look like, because they were trying to figure out like what celebrity I look like. And I'm not even gonna tell you who they said. I have heard that particular name a few times, but I said more than anything, I am constantly told I look like Betty Boop. Like if you look up, and a lot of people are not used to the original Betty Boop, Esther Jones,
right?
But if you look her up, I could have stole her whole face. So, you know, shout out to Good That part. Shout out to Good Genes, however they get mixed in all the ancestral DNA soup and all the things to make us look the way we look. But anyway, back on track. Community, y'all. And so this is why we got to talk about it tonight, because at the end of the day, whether you're talking about your relationship, you know, whether you're talking about your friendship, you got to be surrounded by people who not only hear you, but they feel you and they respect and honor who you are and where you are, right? Because this life is weird as hell. It really is. We're on a floating rock in the middle of whatever's out there. It's weird. There's no way around that. You got to have people that make it just a little bit more palatable and easy to digest. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So what is something you think, Sean, you've been kind of quiet while you've been letting us talk shit so far. What is something you think that they need to be mindful of? Or what does this topic mean for you?
Now, when you say be mindful, you just mean like in everyday life?
Yeah.
Yeah. It could be in life or relationships.
It's not necessarily romantic relationships. It's all relationships.
Yeah.
I mean the main basis is the be receptive.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be judgmental.
Okay.
A lot of people can't do that because they hear something and because their thought process is, if that was me, oh my God, you know. But nah, I mean, because like they say, how that song go, different strokes rule the world. You know what I'm saying? So different strokes for different folks. So just because it's something you won't do, don't condemn it. At least be open minded enough to hear it.
Yeah.
And keep your personal feelings to yourself, because that's something you wouldn't do. But if that's something they do, you know, whatever. Hey. But I mean, to me, those are the most important things. You know, you gotta be open minded, you gotta be receptive and non-judgmental.
But okay, so before I forget, here's a song I wanted to recommend, like, because we didn't start with our usual the
Oh
position
yeah.
recommendation. But this is different. This is different. So I wanted to recommend two songs. I gotta go back and look at them. So anybody's just needing a little bit of encouragement, because again, life is weird out there right now. It's getting real weird. So if you love yourself, or you just need a little reminder to love yourself, I don't care. Pick one. But the song "I Love Me" by Megan Trainor, listen, that's one of my jams. I almost made that my ringtone
Mm.
because I be feeling myself. And then there's a song by "Proud of You" by Kalia,
Oh.
KaliehA, KaliehA. I believe it's pronounced Kalia. I could be wrong, but it's called "Proud of You." But I feel like if you put both of those songs on and jam to them, you can't help but to feel a little bit better once you get through. And to transition from that, because I personally feel like sex does the body good, right? It's better than milk and all the other bullshit they be trying to get you to eat half the time. Sex does the body good. It should be considered one of the staples of a healthy diet, just like your fruits and your veggies and eating the rainbow, okay? So make sure that you're getting some good in this week. If you don't do anything else but find your man or find your woman, and whatever the
Right.
position is, because I think we've said it before, but I don't remember the name. But just let your boo thing sit down on the bed or on the stairs, on the floor, and baby, you face them and wrap your arms around them, wrap your legs around them, and ride that train. But while you're doing that, slow down. We don't want the momentum
Right.
this time. We want the intimacy this time. Slow
Right.
down. Look each other in the eyes. Pause for a minute. Let your breathing sync up. Let your heartbeat sync up. Like really create the intimacy and let the oxytocin flow. Let your parasympathetic,
Ooh.
system relax. Let your nervous system relax and get out of activation and fight mode. Like breathe. Like that
That
position
sounds
right
like
there.
Secret Garden stuff.
Yes, and that's a perfect song to go with it. Secret Garden by Quincy
Hmm.
Jones and all them. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for that, Gypsy. Thank you. You came through the clutch. But yeah, like that. Let that be a moment where you're just enjoying being present with them, right? You ain't gotta rush. That position works if they got big stature or short stature. It works with whoever, wherever, you can make it work, okay? And they can hit them spots.
Stop checking it off the list like it's a chore.
That slow down, breathe. Let them hear you. Let them feel you. Let them enjoy you, and you enjoy them. That's what I got. Sean, you want to throw something out there for this week?
I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, I agree with what you're saying. I mean, you should be enjoying sex as much as possible, especially if you had that special someone.
Mm,
You know what I mean? But
You are that special someone if you don't have that special someone.
facts.
I mean that's true too. You could definitely, but I mean at the same time, slow down and enjoy it. Don't just sit there and you know beat off or flick the bead. I mean, really enjoy and get to know your body. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, trust me, fellas, you can take what you might do in 2 minutes. If you take 20 minutes, you can actually have an orgasm instead of just busting a nut.
Facts. Because it's a whole difference between an orgasm just because you nutted and a whole body orgasm because you orgasm.
Ain't nothing like a mental orgasm.
Facts.
What?
I mean, that's true too. I mean, but that's a little more intricate. You know, a lot of people
I'm
ain't
a
built for that.
sapiosexual, so that no,
I
that
mean,
Yeah,
a
that
lot
is
of people, a
that's
lot of
different.
people ain't built for that.
A lot of people
You
are
know,
different.
but they can learn it. I would definitely say if you don't know no better, pick you up a book on tantric sex, and that will help
Mhm.
you train your body to go to new heights that you've never been to before.
So let me throw this out here because I do get this question randomly based on one of our old videos. I think we talked about this maybe a year ago. What happens or why does a woman cry during sex?
Oh, yeah, we did talk about that.
Now, that can be very different based on the woman, based on the situation, different reasons. It may be a trauma response. It may be some healing taking place because you hit something deep in her soul as y'all connected and she felt safe to let her guard down. But a woman's tears during sex is actually not always a bad thing. You need to check in with her.
Right.
You need to know your person to want for her to feel safe enough to why she's feeling that level of emotion and communicate it to you. But also you got to know your person so that you kind of know how to rock with her through that situation and not make it unnecessarily complicated or uncomfortable, right?
But you know what?
Good, what?
If she's crying, a lot of times it's because she feels safe that she's able to cry.
That's where I'm going
because
with it.
If she does not feel safe, she is not going to cry with you. She will do everything in her power to hold that in.
Yeah. Sometimes it's a healing taking place. Like I said, you may hit something in her spirit, her soul that unlocks, right? That she doesn't necessarily have words for, and it's just her body is finally releasing. But here's the other piece of that I wanted to make sure I acknowledge. Sometimes those tears are actually an acknowledgement of the next level that y'all just got to emotionally. Because she has become so safe with you. She has become so content and comfortable in the experience with you, not just the sex, but the unity, the intimacy. And this can happen whether y'all are fun buddies, in a relationship, dating, whatever.
Right.
When your two souls have just gotten to that point of connection and communication energetically with each other, a woman can end up experiencing tears because of the orgasmic experience. Like it just unlocks her whole body from head to toe and takes her to a different level of ecstasy and contentment and euphoria in that experience. Her nervous system relaxed.
How many women you done made cry? Because he grinning like a motherfucker.
Nah, see, I laugh because my thought process was, y'all talking all that, but what if it's the reverse? You would a man, and then after he reaches his climax, he start crying. What you gonna do? How you gonna be thinking? You like, hold the fuck up, this bitch ass.
No, like if I'm vibing with him, which I am, if I'm sleeping with him, because I don't just listen. This shit ain't community property. So if I'm vibing with him, and we're in that moment, like I have had that happen before, and I just kind of held space, like, okay, I'm here with you. You good. I didn't really ask a lot of questions because I understood I just needed to let him share. I just needed to let him share whatever he felt comfortable sharing. But yeah, like I was like, I'm here with you. You good. We ain't rushing. Like we're in this moment. And so we just laid there and I let him share as he was ready. And he kind of told me what he was thinking and what he was feeling. It was a powerful moment. But you can fuck it up by being like, what you thinking? What you feeling? Tell me, clue me in. I want to know. Like, no, shut the fuck up. Man or woman, shut the fuck up.
Right.
And let that person share what they feel ready to share as they feel ready to share it. Don't force it.
Okay. All right, that's understandable.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never been in that position, but I'm just saying, dude. Like, I would trip off that shit.
What you think?
You would trip off a woman crying?
No, a dude crying. Like if a woman told me that she had sex with a dude and then he started crying, I'll be like, oh shit.
Jay caught it.
John, you didn't hear what
I didn't hear you because I was talking.
Yeah, we're gonna keep it moving.
But what did you say?
Nope. We're gonna keep it moving.
I said with my chest because me and you go way back. I said you should if you got a nigga crying while you with him.
You asked for that. Moving on.
No.
Moving on. You don't hear me. Right? Oh my God. Listen. Listen, you hear me?
All he can do is pick up his red cup.
Leave him alone.
I mean, because just the other nonsense that came out your mouth is just unprofitable. But anyway, I'm just gonna act like you ain't even see this.
You've
That's
known me
fine.
almost
I tried to say
35
moving
years.
on,
You know
but you
better.
wanted her to say it with her chest. Okay, so
I,
moving
I
on.
just
You
asked
know
her what
better.
she said. I ain't say with your chest.
You know better. You know me over 35 years. You know
Oh
better.
my
You knew I
God.
said some.
Okay,
You knew
moving
I
on.
said
Back
some
on
reckless shit.
track. You hear me, but you don't feel me. So when
Yes.
we were talking about topics last month for this month,
Mm-hmm.
I think this one came up because a lot of people feel unheard in their experiences, right? They feel like I'm talking, but you're not listening. And that could be in a friendship or relationship or even at work, really any area of life.
Mm-hmm.
They feel like I'm doing these things, but you're not recognizing me. You're not
Right.
acknowledging it or giving me credit for these things, right? What are some ways that you all think that people really can navigate that? I mean, how do you handle it when you feel like you're not being heard or seen?
I usually joke. I usually turn it into a joke. Um, because it's painful to not feel seen or heard or acknowledged. Like it's like what you have to contribute isn't valuable. And so you'll find I'm a middle child, so I'm kind of used to that as middle child. Because yeah, I don't know. It's something about, well, you're not the oldest, so you haven't done it first, and you're not the baby, so you're not coddled, and so you're just kind of overlooked, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, middle child syndrome is real. People don't really recognize that that is what it is, but it is. And it's just about being invisible. And when you're a lot of times when you're invisible in the space that's supposed to be your safe space, you act out in other ways in public. Seriously.
I mean, I'm an only child, so I think I can understand a lot of that, but yeah, I think I can understand parts of that, but to give a different perspective, like as an only child, I feel like we often, depending on the dynamic, right? I feel like we often get overshadowed because you don't have siblings to play with, and your parents don't want to be your playmate, like they're your parents, right? So
Right.
oftentimes we are left to figure things out on our own. We tend to grow up really fast and end up being overly responsible for a lot of things. And I think for me that has shown up in adulthood as hyper independence, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that could be challenging. Like I really battle with being hyper independent and finding my balance because I don't want to be so separate that no, fuck everybody, burn everything down. I don't need y'all bitches. You can't exist like that. But that's how a lot of only child children grow up. And often because of that, I struggle with that. Do y'all even get what I'm saying? Does anybody see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, do you like that's how I end up feeling? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then add ADHD to that. I be in my head like I know what the fuck I just said. What that happens to
Right.
me at least once or twice a day where I'm like, am I the crazy one? So,
But
you know,
but being being a middle child, oftentimes you're used to putting everybody's feelings ahead of yours because you're used to trying to be the mediator and trying to, again, be seen, right? And trying to be the peacemaker and being, let's be fair about it. But even though nobody is really being fair to you, right? And I don't know. I think only children, they probably have more authority and stuff because I mean, like the older kid gets authority. So yeah, you're probably like a mini adult or
yeah.
treated like one, and so yeah, to children your age, you're probably like too knowledgeable for them. And then for people that are older, you're too young for them in certain ways, but in other ways, they make you grow up fast. But middle children, like they get overlooked, they get underappreciated, and so they try to go above and beyond, and that makes them become doormats.
Okay, so I didn't realize you were talking about childhood. I thought we were talking about relationships.
It's
But
both.
Yeah.
But that leads you into making bad relationship decisions because you allow people to get away with more. You allow people to get away with more. Like seriously, because you're so used to trying to be the peacemaker and stuff. You don't want to ruffle any feathers and things like that. And
I don't know
so
how y'all made peace, but shit, I always wanted peace. Now with your ass to make peace. So, yeah. But anyway,
that's
as
that
far as
Philly.
You
as far as
bulldozer, Sean.
hey, it was my upbringing. My family was rough and tough. You know what I'm saying? So
I was rough and stuff with my Afro puffs. Ray, rock on with it. I
you
don't
know
know.
what I'm saying.
Sorry.
So, but
Okay.
as far as like relationships, when you say because a lot of times, and this is what really happens. Like people hear you, but they won't listen to you, and then
Yeah.
they'll gaslight you to try to make it seem like it's on you.
Yeah.
Ooh.
When you sitting there explaining to them like, hey, when you do X, Y, Z, it makes me feel like 1, 2, 3. But then
Mm-hmm.
they'll flip it and be like, oh, you always want to be this and that, but do you ever think about my feelings? And it's like, hold on, wait, I'm just discussing what you do that upsets me. Now, if you want to discuss what I do that upsets you, that's fine. But don't act like I didn't say what I said. We can discuss both things.
Well, do you think that it could be the different upbringings and also the different social structure within the family that creates that dynamic where the person
And that
tries to gaslight
that
you?
is that is totally what it is. But my thing is, at this point, we are adults, and if we truly are trying to be together, let's understand each other versus carrying all that bullshit into this. Because I can't make you conform to my thought process, just like you can't make me conform to your thought process. But what we can do is try to find a happy medium.
Now, so
One second,
now
y'all.
if
One
yeah,
second, y'all. April said, I'm the youngest. My father is as well. My brother is the oldest, and my mother is a middle child. I can see the benefits and
mm,
deficits in each category. Um,
mm,
yeah.
wow,
You know what's crazy? I'm an only child. Both of my aunts only had one child each, and they were 4 siblings, right? Like 3 girls and 1 boy.
mm.
And my mom is the baby. And I can see some of the counseling theories, some of the psychological theories that go along with the placement of the child. I can see how a lot of that played out amongst them. And what I, but, and Sean, I get what you were saying that you thought we were talking about relationships, but I think that
It
Gypsy talking about
affects
the
it.
childhood piece and me talking about the childhood piece, like that's what informs, and that's what most
Mhm.
people are pulling from when they get into an adult relationship again, whether it's a friendship or romantic or at their job. Because in my mind, everything is relationship, right? Anything that we do
Right.
ongoing with people as we engage with them, you in a whole relationship with them, you need to figure out the shit that's going on. So most people are not that self-aware. They're not sitting doing reflection. A lot of people still have an aversion to therapy and counseling. They're not going to talk it through and find healthy ways to address the shit they went through. A lot of adults are still carrying around that baggage. And then when they
Right.
get with somebody or they get a friend, they're dumping this shit on somebody else and expecting them to fix it. Which is why I think we have to have these kind of conversations, because a person may say, I don't think you understand me. I don't think you hear me, or I don't think you feel me. And they may have a valid point, and the person listening may not really get it. But are
Mhm.
you explaining it in a language and in a way that they can understand it? Are you trying to use
Right.
words that make sense to them? Are you expecting them to heal shit they ain't got nothing to do with? Are you communicating to them so they know the ghost that you're battling? Like, all of those things are relevant when it comes to why you don't feel seen or heard, I think.
I mean, that's basically what I was saying. I
Yeah.
just said it in a shorter way, but
Uh,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, but that's the thing, though, Sean. While you keep saying, "But we're adults," but the first relationship you ever have in life influences every relationship that you ever have until you leave here.
Yeah.
And that first relationship is with your family.
That's kind of like they say women date their dads, men date their moms. It's not always true, but a lot of the times we are seeking at the very least qualities from them that we liked, or either running away from things that we didn't like, and that's what informs our choice in partners, right? And friends. April said, in order to get to a middle ground, you have to understand or at least consider the other person's perspective. Understanding family dynamic is a major part of that. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And also
I mean,
culture. Like,
I don't disagree with that. You definitely have to understand where a person came from.
yeah.
But at the same time, just because you came from that place don't mean you gotta stay in that place.
But if that's all you
Yeah.
know, Sean, and that's the thing,
Then expand your mind.
but this is the
No,
thing.
it ain't if that's all you know, expand
Hold
your
on.
mind.
But listen, it's hard to expand your mind if one you don't seek therapy.
Yeah,
You have
I
to
never
you have
said
to seek
that it's gonna
therapy.
be easy. I never
I
said you
I
could just
I
wake up and do it
understand.
overnight. All I'm saying is if you truly want to be heard and you want other people to hear you, you have to change your way of thinking. You can't just be linear. You just can't. It's not going to work.
I
And
mean,
everything you do is not going to work.
So I loved my dad. And I found that I really had people in my life that were a lot like him. But my dad was a gaslighter. And he was real quick to make it seem like you was the crazy one. That you were the one that you caused whatever was happening, right? And I know where that comes from. He was the youngest boy, but he was also the only boy. You feel me? And so that whole dynamic of having five sisters and stuff, and then being that's how he manipulated stuff growing up.
But they don't make you a gas. He chose to be a gaslighter. And I
Right.
say that because I was the youngest boy. Well, my mom only had two kids, me and my sister. But my mom spoiled me, my sister spoiled me. But at the same time, my sister didn't want to play with me. I had to play by myself. So I might as well have been the only kid when I was a kid. I had whole like man, look, I had Star Wars versus G.I. Joe versus Trans. I had whole battle shit. Like my bed, I was set. Man, look, I had to create shit and do shit. My sister, and she only a year and a half older. But when we was kids, she didn't want to play with me. She like, nah, you go do you. So I might
I
as
mean,
well have been the only kid.
I think that plays a role too, right? So like, I realized something about myself recently. Like, so I'm a tomboy. I grew up climbing mango trees in my granny's backyard. I grew up with three boy cousins that I was in close proximity to and age with, and they used to beat the hell out of me because we grew up watching WCW and WWF. So,
Junkyard Dog.
baby, what the Undertaker? Okay, like
Right.
they beat the hell out of me. And I was fighting back, like we were jumping off of sofas and clotheslining and all that kind of stuff. And so it was rough. But I realized that a lot of that informed how I now engage in friendships and relationships. And because everything was so forceful, I grew up around people that was like, shit, you better say that shit with your chest. Like, I'm from Fort Lauderdale
Mhm.
in Miami. And it's funny because I also spent a lot of my life in Atlanta, and one of my besties said to me today, her husband's from Atlanta too, and she was like, "I love y'all, but the rest of them, shit." And I was like,
you know, I like what April just said.
Let me put it up here.
Where you come from shapes your ideologies. It's an expression of how they get to become the person you are. It's not linear, it's full circle. Choices dictate outcomes you grow from potentially.
And it's linear
Sean,
when you choose to stick in that. It's linear when you choose to stick in that instead of expanding your mind, exploring the world, getting new everything, whether it's experiences with food, people, cultures, religions.
Sean, there are people that have never left their city, let alone their state.
And I know, so, and that's why they think linear. They're stuck.
Yeah, but
and they choose to be stuck because that's a decision.
But she said it's not linear, and I agree with her.
I know what she said, and I know you agree. It sounds great. It sounds lovely. But being from where I'm from and how I grew up, I know better because I've done things that I would not think the way if I had not done other things, I would not think the way I think now. I would still be stuck. I'd be linear, and I'd be like, nah, fuck it.
And you would still be in Philly.
Probably. I don't know. Probably Philly or New York, but probably.
So I think I'm kind of in the middle of you guys. I don't think it's linear, but I also don't think it's full circle. I think life goes like this, right? It's up, down, sideways, zigzag, and all these potentials and possibilities. And every choice we make, every decision we make, every action we take kind of moves us back and forth between all these possibilities to dictate how things are going to turn out. So I don't think that there's one possible outcome. I don't think that there's only one way that the thing can happen. Right. And so that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's linear or full circle. I think that it's just this infinite experience, and everything we do just guides us along the path to wherever we're going to end up. That being said, the reason I'm explaining it that way is because I think there's so many ways that any situation can turn out, but how we respond to it, how we respond to people, most of the time is going to dictate that. And I think personally, this is just my opinion. I'm not saying I'm right. I think a lot of the times, because of past pain, people will fuck up the very thing that they want, that is good, that they have prayed for, waited for, done all this shit to get, whether it's the job, the money, the person, the kid, the marriage, the husband, the wife, the whoever, the whatever. We will do all this work to get it, and then we can't maintain it because we're not willing to go past a certain point, right? We dig just deep enough below the surface to fix shit to get there, and then we get stuck.
And that's my point. If you pull up the very next comment, and my point is exactly that. It does not change the background. The background is the building block, but you know what it does change? It changed the future.
Yeah,
that's what it does.
But okay, so wait. Now I'm gonna quote Dr. Gabor Mate when you say,
"Hey, sure, sure. Say good evening, y'all. You gotta quote
sure. Dr. Gabor Mate. He's like one of the world-renowned trauma specialists, and what he says is trauma is not what happens to you; it's what happens inside of you as a result of what happened to you. And that trauma is what shapes the way you look at things.
No. It's not the trauma. It's not the trauma itself. It's how you choose to carry that trauma with you.
No, it's what happens inside of you, because everybody has a different.
and that's the point when I say you think linear. When you say this happened to me, so I'm gonna hold on to it and I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna just make sure. And it's like, I understand that happened to you, but you can't let that rule the rest of your life.
Well,
I'm not taking nothing away from the trauma, because trauma is trauma. Trauma fucking hurt. It is fucking a bad thing. But at the same time, if you could take that trauma and say, you know what, yes, that did happen. It made me feel this way. And you could work through it, and you could say, you know what? At least I know what to look for, because that trauma, it had a certain look to it. So if I see that, okay. If I don't see that, then maybe I can try this and see how things go.
Okay, so the other thing he said is that when your trauma is triggered, you don't act your age, you act the age the wound was created. So if you have a deep trauma that was inflicted on, be it divorce or whatever, because you know a lot of people who are products of divorce, the way that they see and relate in relationships is shaped by that divorce, and where they were mentally, psychologically, the way they were like within the family dynamics at the time of the divorce. So those parents that like to play their children against each other and stuff, you know, use their children as pawns. Did he have you around a bitch? Did he, you know, that kind of stuff? Stop that shit. That shit is traumatizing for a kid, and that will shape how they relate to people in their adult relationships.
And I feel it. And all I'm saying is, people, you don't have to let that happen. It happened. You can grow. You can grow past it. Fuck what the internet tells you. Fuck what
It's
society
not what
tells
the
you.
internet tells you. It's
No,
what
it
my
is.
life
It
has
really
told
is,
me.
because people think a certain way because they get this information and they think, oh, because this and that and this and that, this is how shit's supposed to be. Shit is whatever you want it to be. And if you don't know that, yo, because that it is. It's whatever
No,
you. Okay, all right. Fuck it.
I sought therapy because I was trying to understand myself and
And nobody's
understand
just nobody's
how
disputing
and
that.
why I relate to certain things, and certain things are triggers for me. And so that's the one thing is that the first relationship that you need to master is the one with yourself.
And that okay. So I guess we're saying the same thing from two different spectrums. But what I'm trying to let you know is that who was that? Free your mind, and the rest will follow. What group was that? That's on that
Involved,
song.
baby.
Yes,
Involved.
Involved.
Don't act like you
exactly.
ain't old enough to know Involved.
I just couldn't remember which group it was. It was a lot of hot groups back then. It could have been SWV. I don't know. But hey, involved. Okay. Anyway, that saying is so true. I understand. Look, everybody's got trauma. I got mad trauma. But I don't let that shit affect shit I do today, because that happened back then. But I got to a point where I freed my mind. Because trust me, there was a point in my life where that shit did affect me. But I learned that, okay, in order to stop letting that affect me, I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm not saying, oh, it's just gone. No, it's there. But I've learned that as a person, I can grow past that. But you got to free your mind. You got to look. That's why I said, whatever you want to happen can happen. That's what I said. If you believe it, you can achieve it comes from.
Okay, so can I jump in because I was trying to let y'all
Mm-hmm.
do y'all thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to go back to some basic science, right? We can talk about, you know, all the different thought processes and ideologies and things based on whatever, but we know some basic things from science, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of them being epigenetics. So epigenetics is what I'm trying to figure out. Okay, so a simplified way to make this make sense is when a person experiences trauma, your DNA gets a tag.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
that
that
tag
trauma
says,
is passed down and passed through generations.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
that tag says every time you see this or smell this or hear this or whatever the experience was, this is how you're going to respond. And that tag passes down. So your
Mm-hmm.
parent could have been afraid of snakes. Child ain't never seen a snake, but the first time they see a snake, they freak out just like the mom or the dad would have because they got that tag, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same with any type of extreme, whether it be good or bad. It could be something good. You could love the smell of cherry blossoms because your daddy used to love it or whatever, right? So that's one thing. The second thing is we understand from science that everything is energy. Everything has a vibrational or energetic frequency, right? Everything. The chair you're sitting in, the water you're drinking, this dress I got on, the glasses on your head, the earphones, whatever. Shut up, Sean.
I'm just
So,
saying, I thought it was a shirt, but it really is a dress. You really is Flintstoning out this bitch, huh?
so,
I
so that
told
being
you.
said, so that being said, if we recognize that everything is energy, energy is always in motion. And it's just always moving, and it's always finding like energy to bind itself to and create reactions. So yes, from a science standpoint, if you are solely focused on trauma, you're going to keep experiencing trauma. If you have a different thought process and you're open to something different, or your mindset, your energetic state is focused on something else, then it is likely that you're going to be able to draw in and attract that something else. So this goes back to where we started the show, right? Because I started off telling y'all how I kept getting that question, like, with everything going on, how do you stay so focused? How do you laugh? How do you stay encouraged? So I shared the experience from Saturday, like going into the storehouse, spirit had me turn around and blah, blah, blah. Because that's how I live my life. Like, I'm always looking for opportunity to bless somebody, and somebody's always looking for opportunity to bless me. I draw good. Even though bad things happen, I still draw more good than bad, right? But so when it comes to relationships, whether it's friendship, co-worker, romantic, platonic, doesn't matter. When it comes to relationship, you typically you're going to get what you expect. That's why we have to be able to communicate. Everything really goes back to communication. I think both of you are kind of saying that everything really goes back to communication, because typically you're going to experience what you expect. Your mind is like a magnet. It dominates your thoughts. What you think tends to dominate what you speak. What you speak tends to dominate how you behave and how you act and where you go and what you do. And so all of those things, it's like a never ending infinity or cycle, a circle of all these possibilities. That's how I look at it. All these possibilities. And then based on whatever frequency we are existing in, we're always moving and shifting and making decisions and talking and experiencing and weaving our way through life. So I don't think the childhood has to determine who you become. It doesn't even have to predict who you become. I think our childhood can show us the potential and the possibilities. And then as we grow and continue to experience, we as the individual have to determine how we're going to choose to walk it out. I mean, a perfect example is me. I came from two addicts, and I made a very clear decision that I was not going to walk that path, and I haven't. And addiction, the reason I self-reflect so much is because addiction shows up in so many ways. I don't necessarily have to be an addict the way that they were. It could show up in any number of ways in my life, right? But that's why I'm so self-reflective, and sometimes that can come across intense to other people. But I am very intentional about my life and making sure that I don't fall victim or prey to certain things that would take me down that journey, right? So my childhood gave me possibilities, but I had to determine. And I think that y'all are kind of both saying that in some kind of way.
That's why I said we seen it from two opposite ends.
Yeah,
Right.
because at the end of the
But
day, we're
her
all different,
from
but we
her
got to work
end
together.
is more like I'm a let the trauma dictate my life.
I'm
And
gonna
from
be a
mine,
victim. I got you.
I'm like, I ain't say that. See, that's letting that trauma dictate your shit. Cause I didn't say that. Cause just cause you
That's
got
what I
trauma don't
heard,
mean,
though. That's what I
and
heard, though.
exactly, cause you letting that trauma dictate your
That
life.
trauma.
Because I said that don't mean you a victim. Cause shit, you can have trauma all day long, be out here just fucking killing people. That don't
Yep.
make you a victim.
Make you a serial killer.
I mean, hey, and that's what happened to those people that had that type of trauma. And instead of being a victim, they went out and became serial killers because they let the trauma dictate their life.
Yep.
All I'm saying is It don't have to be that way. You could deal with the trauma however you do, whatever best works for you. But at the same time, you can move past that. You can say, you know what? I want to learn to play the ukulele, and that can help you move past shit. I know it sounds funny, but
All right,
just
Urkel.
doing, I'm just saying, just doing something outside of your normal thing
Yeah,
can help you move past trauma.
yeah.
Now,
Right.
I couldn't even point a ukulele out to you. I just said it because I'm like, what's the wildest shit I could think of? A fucking ukulele.
I mean, but this is why I go back to communication. Everything goes back to communication, right? So like me,
Mhm.
because like I said, at least once or twice a day, I find myself saying, "Now I know I just fucking said," because I'll say something, and I feel like the way I'm saying it, and expressing it is so clear, and somebody will say it back to me, and I'm like, "But that's just what the fuck I said." But that's not what they've heard. So they're trying to explain it and make it make sense to me, right? So I've had to realize sometimes it comes down, just like you two were doing. Sometimes it comes down to you
Mhm.
were using a different language than that person, so it's not translating. So a lot of times, what I
Mhm.
have to do, and I try to do this consistently, I have to ask myself, okay, what is it that I am really trying to say? What is it that I am trying to communicate or be intentional about? And is there a different way to give it to this person based on what I know about them? I think that's why a lot of times we feel unseen and unheard. Simply the language is different. You got to figure out what
Mhm.
words that person uses. You got to figure out, is there a different word that you can use or substitute to help it translate better to them? Is there a different time of day that you could talk to them? Is there a different example that you could give them? For example, at work, if you got a problem with your boss and you're like, nah, I feel like I've tried to talk about this and they just not getting it. Can you send them an email instead and give them bullet points? Like, a lot of times I feel like we get frustrated and so we don't put forth the effort to find resolution. We just wash our hands and be like, fuck it, it ain't worth it. And so we end up missing out on a lot of good things and people and opportunities because we let the pain of the past or the trauma of a previous experience or the frustration of misunderstanding become a cock block instead of being like, hey, I can work around this. I can navigate past this. You know what I'm saying? But we have to be willing to do it from a place of self-reflection because it starts with you. If they're not understanding, how can you better communicate? And then if they just want to keep being a dick about it, then you just be like, and moving on. But I
Right.
think a lot of people give up without even trying. And a lot of friendships end, a lot of potential relationships end. A lot of people walk away from good jobs or positive experiences just because that beginning part was uncomfortable or there was a point that got disconnected. Sure said your environment dictates how you process, embrace, and heal from trauma. That
Mhm.
is very true.
Mhm.
But we
That is
also have the
very
power to
true,
change our
sir.
environment, right? So we still can't use that as an excuse. Like when you recognize that your environment is causing you to experience a lot of negativity or to respond negatively, where to me, I look at a lot of this as accountability too. Where's the accountability to say this is what I have control over and this is what I can change to positively affect this outcome or help other people better
Mhm.
understand me? You know what I mean?
But that
Yep.
does boil down to the nature versus nurture
Yep.
conversation. You know what I'm saying? But hey, all I'm saying is, look, you got to make a conscientious effort to make changes within yourself.
Okay.
Sean said, get it together, bitch.
I ain't
I know,
see.
right? That
I
is
ain't
what he
saying
said.
if
That's
that's
what
what
I
y'all
heard.
hearing. If that's
That's
what
what
y'all
I
hearing,
heard.
I apologize, but that's not. Well, all I'm saying is you gotta make a conscientious effort
I'm
with
just playing,
yourself
y'all.
to get it
That's his
together
nice
with
way of
yourself.
saying that.
You know what I'm saying? But to make an actual change within yourself, because the definition of insanity is you keep doing the same thing expecting
Yep.
a different outcome.
Yep.
So if you keep banging your head up against that wall and expect not to have a headache, maybe you might want to stop banging your head up against that wall.
That
But the other thing is that some people think that changing your environment is going to change the
yeah.
circumstances, and really it's not. Because
You
like
can't
you
And
can
outrun
that,
move,
yourself.
you can move, and you still gonna be the same person you was in that other city as soon as you get there, and then you're gonna realize, I gotta move again because I don't like who I am here either. Well,
But
no, you need to fix you.
that's why I said you gotta make a conscientious effort to change yourself.
Yeah.
You
Take
really
your ass
do.
to
I mean,
therapy.
and I mean, even if, and I'm not saying therapy is bad, you should do it. No, you should do it. All I'm saying is, even if that's not the route you choose to take, you still need to actually best look at yourself, think about the things you do, how you act, how you behave, and maybe think about, maybe if I do this, it'll be better out, in this type of situation. Because I've been in this situation 5 times, and every time it done went left.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Also, I'm just, I love to play devil's advocate when I can. Sometimes I think the feeling of being unseen or unheard comes from you're not even speaking your real truth. So
Mm.
so people can't see you and truly hear you and hold space for you because you are not being authentic, right? So if you're not comfortable in your own skin, you're not self-reflecting, you're not taking the time to get to know yourself, the bullshit that you may be giving them just ain't connecting because you're not even being honest with yourself. You can't, in other words, you can't stand 10 toes down on what you're saying, and they can feel
Right.
that you connect. They don't maybe have words for it all the time, but they can feel it.
Mhm.
And so that translates in, yeah, nah. And that's
Right.
frustrating, right? Because if you're hiding yourself, which a lot of people do for safety emotionally, if you're hiding yourself or if you're playing, you know, emotional distance with yourself and with other people, how do you bypass that? And this is why I always advocate for face your shit, go to therapy, get a coach, do whatever you got to do, journal that bitch. I don't care. But work through whatever it is that you find are the repetitive issues in your life. Because until you face yourself, until you can stand toe to toe with you and
Mhm.
have a come to Jesus moment with you, it's going to really be a challenge to find anybody else that can go to the extremes with you. Most times they're going to give up because they don't really know you. They can't invest in you.
And stop looking for somebody to save you. Shit, you gotta
Oh
save
yeah,
yourself.
that
Like
Captain
shit.
Saberholt is retired, bitch.
Right. Like stop looking for somebody else to wear the cape. Put your own damn cape on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Captain Saberholt
Yeah.
retired. He said, "Figure your shit out."
But that's that's the other thing too, is
Yeah.
that for women, society had denoted that we should be waiting for someone to come save us. But then again, because of your environment that dictates how you process, I'm not good at faking that need thing. And when I'm with you, it's because I want you, not because I need you. And
I
I
get
don't want anybody to be with me because they need me. Because when the need is gone, so are you.
mm, I get that. I get that. But at the end of the day, right?
Mhm.
I think this whole human journey is all about getting to know ourselves. Like whatever personal
Yep.
experiences we may all have, whatever
Mhm.
big things we may be here to do or receive or experience with the people that we love. I think every single one of us is here for the simplistic and selfish reason of getting to know ourselves. For whatever reason,
Mhm.
divinity was like, I'm gonna drop y'all in these bodies, or I'm gonna put myself in these bodies, however that happened, because who knows?
Right.
Um, I think at the end of the day, that's like the theme for me. We are all on these roller coasters to get to the destination of self. And it
Mhm.
becomes so painful and so much harder when we fight it and we're trying to do all this other shit like I don't see it, instead of just toe to toe with you, right? That if you fight yourself, if you go to war with yourself, if you're willing to face yourself, there's so much beauty on the other side of that, because most times it's not as bad as you think it's going to be. It's not as scary as you think it's going to be. But we blow shit up in our head. We assume a lot of things and make up stuff, and then we make it so much worse than it ever had to be. So
Right.
that's my challenge to everybody listening today. Like, and I'm asking myself too, like, just ask yourself, Where am I not being authentic and true with myself? What change can I make to be more authentic and true to
Stop
myself?
trying to be what people expect and be who you are.
Because
I
I
guess
think the
I
transit.
don't elocute as well as you do, but I say I guess I don't elocute as well as you do, but that's basically all I said. Make a conscientious effort to know yourself.
Okay, Sean.
I'm sorry, I'm just thinking like a man. I'm gonna keep it short and simple.
No, you're good. But like, isn't this a real life play out of why we have to learn how to communicate,
Right.
right? Because
No,
sometimes we're
it
saying the
is,
same things
it is,
differently.
it is.
Sometimes
I'm
we're
just like,
using different language. Like, damn, that's what I was trying to say. Y'all didn't hear me. I mean, like, that's what literally happens in relationships and friendships and experiences every day, right? But
no,
yeah,
But
I'm
you
saying
know,
like
sometimes
y'all said exactly what I would say. Y'all just took the long way. But hey,
and you
if that's what
know,
it takes for them to understand, I'm
sometimes
just saying.
tone also will turn people off and they won't hear you because
yeah.
how they perceive your tone. It may not be
Mhm.
what you mean. It may not even that may just be how you normally communicate. But
I mean
if
that's true
somebody
too, but at the
doesn't
same time, it
like
wasn't like I was coming off like this, like yo, fuck that. This is what. Nah,
I already know you, Sean. So I know that you didn't mean it that way, but I'm just saying that, and I wasn't meaning you as in you
no, I
specifically,
know what
but
you
you
meant. I know.
in general. And there people hear through their environmental factors.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they hear and see. We can all be in the same room watching the same seminar and take it in a different way just
Exactly.
because of our environmental factors.
I mean, that goes to like, I couldn't get it out. Okay, so I said I look like a little red top rooster because I got my little hair stuck up tonight, right? And y'all was like, "You look like Pebbles," you know. So I
Right.
mean, that's a that's a perfect example
That's
of.
all I thought of was the Flintstones. When I said,
But
I said,
yeah.
they coming out there just like the Flintstones for.
But that's a perfect
Okay.
example of our vantage. We can all be looking at the same thing and see something totally different, right? Perception is king. It rules every fucking thing. And sometimes our
You remember that
perception
picture?
bullshit, huh?
The picture that looks like they ask you what do you see, whether it's like two faces or a vase
Oh
or
yeah, the little
Oh
yeah, and it's like
yeah,
the same picture, but everybody sees it different. And
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now I
that's
mean,
what
if you look
life
at it,
is about.
you do see both
You
because it
can
is
see
two
both.
faces, but the silhouette does make a vase. But I feel what you say.
But
Yeah.
I'm just saying, but your environment or where you are at the moment that they ask you, mentally or physically, that determines what you see first.
Now
And
I hate
that's
those
the
because
same thing.
I always see everything when I look at this shit. I mean, what do you see?
Most
I'm like,
times I don't see
I
none of the
see.
shit people be talking
I,
about. I don't know. I just be feeling like the
But that's
weird
what I
one.
mean.
now
Yeah, I just
I feel like the weird
the one that you gotta be worried about is the Rorschach test. That was the Rorschach test is the one where they hold up those blocks and they be like,
one.
what do you see? And now that's gonna tell you something because they can see anything.
Yeah. I
now the one that
honestly
got
just
me
feel like
was
the
that
weird
dress.
one. Huh?
That one that got me was the dress. Is it blue or is it black? I'm like,
It was the lighting. It was just the lighting.
right.
That's all that was. Depending on the lighting, it's gonna look this way. But and then especially with something like that online, you looking at it from your phone. Depending on the phone you got, the kind of resolution you got, you're gonna see something different.
Yeah.
As we wind tonight's show down, any
What
other
were you gonna say, Jay? Please close us out with a good one.
Oh shit, I was gonna ask y'all,
We
did y'all
was
have
talking
any other
about perspective.
huh?
We was talking about perspectives. When you're looking
Okay,
at
now I feel like
something,
I gotta
you
think
said
of
you
something
feel like
great.
the
Hold
weird.
on.
No, you said you feel like the weird one when you look at those.
Oh, I often feel like the weird one with that kind of stuff because I really don't see what everybody else sees a lot of the times. I'd be like I really yeah. So I be asking myself sometimes, like, are you the psycho? You just don't know it. I'm joking. But But you get what I'm saying? Like, wait, do I need to be in more therapy? Because what they see. But I was joking just to lighten the mood. But no, I even when I do corporate training, I always tell people perception is key. I don't care what you meant to say. What holds more weight is what they thought you said, right? And so I think it's a challenge to coexist in a space where we are trying to get to know ourselves and all the people that are in our community and in our life, relationship, platonic, personal, romantic, friendship, family, community, whatever, wherever, whoever. And especially when it's a romantic relationship, because at some point in time, that's going to be the closest person to you, right? They should be. Like, if you're truly building a connection with the person that you want to last, well, Jesus Christ, the looks on your faces.
I would say they definitely should. They should be the closest person to you. If I was putting myself into you, you better be the closest person to me. God damn. Should be like, God damn.
Your face was like, okay, if she ain't, she finna be, because she gonna be 6 feet under me.
But yeah, so like ideally, that person should be the closest to you emotionally, energetically, obviously physically a lot of the times. And so it's really hard because, listen, I think we're all inherently selfish, which is not a bad thing in itself. But you have to figure out how to navigate the selfishness of taking care of self first and loving self and honoring self, and also being able to be selfless enough that you can safely and healthily love that other person, right? So again, I think perception is everything. And if the perception is off, sometimes you got to go back to the drawing board and self-reflect to figure out, am I being authentic in what I'm saying? Because is my inauthentic delivery confusing that person? Because they may not be able to put it in words, but they're picking it up, right? Or you're not being as clear in your words because you're not being true to yourself. So I always say, start there. Are you being authentic? Are you being true? Do you need to recalibrate what you're saying? Do you need to rethink what you're saying and find a different delivery? And then from there, I love to ask questions. Like I tell people all the time, I don't want to overwhelm you, but I'm going to ask a lot of questions because that's how I process. Ask questions. Don't be afraid to be like, what did you mean by that? Can you re-explain it? Can you rephrase it? Like, ask fucking questions. I feel like we messed up so many great things because we don't ask questions. And what do we do? We make asses out of us and them because we do all this assuming.
No, y'all start exercising. Y'all start jumping to conclusions and shit.
Jumping jacks all over the fucking world, right? So it's like, ask questions, take time to slow down and be like, what did you mean by that? I'm big on that one. Can you rephrase that? Can you reframe that a little bit? Give it to me a different way because I'm not sure I understand. Like, that's such an easy way to deepen your emotional and mental intimacy with a person and get to a better understanding. Don't be afraid to ask questions, because if you ask them questions and they getting frustrated and pissed off, baby, that's not your person. That's your clue to let their ass go. Because if they are worthy of you, they're going to answer your questions and they're going to be willing to walk through it and figure it out, right? Yeah, negotiate, because everything is a transaction. You just have to figure out what is it that you're giving and what is it that you're receiving in order to negotiate and navigate.
Don't be so giving that you have nothing left to pour into yourself.
Facts. But that's why I say you got to navigate the selfishness and the selflessness. Like, there has to be a balance. You can't get fucked giving everything to everybody. You got to give from your fullness and your overflow. You can't give if you are depleted. That's why you got to figure out how to balance that selfishness. Take care of you first. Make sure that you're healthy, happy, and whole, that you're well. And from that place, then you communicate. There's always, also, I think we need to be taking communication classes in high school. See, I learned to communicate, one, because I was surrounded by people that talked all the fucking time, and two, because I took classes in college, right? So I forced myself to go through situations to learn the skills that I wanted to learn to thrive in life. I put myself on the dance team. I joined the student government. I sat in on committees. And all like I made myself do all these uncomfortable things so I could learn how to engage in all these different environments because I knew what I wanted to be able to do. But a lot of people aren't doing that. And I think it's such a disadvantage because people are getting out here into the real fucking world, having to deal with real life shit and are
And
not
having a
equipped with the
meltdown.
basic tools. Yeah, not equipped with the basic tools to be able to do that. So this is why I advocate everybody take your ass to therapy. Go take a communications class. Go what's that organization in the community where you go and they practice the speeches and the
That's Toastmasters.
Toastmasters. Go join you a Toastmasters club. Like join something where you got to learn how to talk and engage with people because it ain't gonna always be apples and peaches. Sometimes you're gonna have to deal with a lemon and a grapefruit and learn how to deal with different shit. That's my 2 cents. To close us out, one of y'all give us another position and I'll find a song to go with it. Give us another position.
You know I'm the song finder.
Okay, well, you find a song. You want me to think of a position? You give us a song and I'll find a position to go with it.
What's that song by Lizzo? Hold on a minute. Let me see. Hold on.
I'm listening because I'm looking up some goodies. Come on with it. Come on with it.
Hold on. Hold on a minute. There's
what you got, Sean? You got one today?
I'm just saying, why does it have to be music? I like the ambient sound. I like that West Spaghetti sound.
Like
I like to be the hear woman when I'm talking to her, she talking to me. Music just be, you know.
You want to hear her whispering in your ear?
Well,
Come in.
Music speaks to me.
Yes,
music speaks to most people though, Sean, because sometimes music says a lot about you that you can't really express. Like Good as Hell. That's it. Good as Hell.
No, I feel you on like
is that the song?
Music.
That's a song. It's called Good as Hell by Lizzo.
Music
Wait, Nadina, what were you talking about? You said the softest place on earth, Escape. What were you talking about, Nadina?
I think that's a song. Safest place.
Oh shit. Okay,
Safest
I don't know
place
one of these songs.
Softest.
Yeah.
It is.
Softest
I guess it is softest.
Yeah, it is softest. Yeah.
I mean, hey, you know.
Okay,
if
so I found a position, y'all. So Nadina said "Softest Place on Earth" by Escape, and Gypsy said "Good as Hell" by Lizzo.
Yep.
Okay, so this one is called "The Butterfly." So to make this equal opportunity, I'm just gonna say whoever's gonna be penetrated, you're gonna lay on your back. Whoever's gonna receive the goods, you're gonna lay on your back. You going to bend your legs, not towards your chest, but just lay flat on your back. Kind of bring your legs up into a butterfly kind of squat looking position and bring the soles of your feet together. Depending on your level of flexibility, you're going to be laying like this. These are your legs. They're just going to be out to the side with your feet together. Don't force them down. Just let them relax down as far as you can, right? Now,
you want me to have Epsom salt bath after that?
Good hush. You the one said you like it freaky. So anyway, your partner is this. So anyway, as you're laying on your back, maybe put a pillow or two up under your low back and your butt if you need to make it easier, or even stack some pillows up on the side, up underneath your legs, your bent knees, so that they can be comfortable as well. And then your partner's gonna lay on you and penetrate. So what that does is it opens everything up, makes it easier to access. You know, if you're feeling freaky. If you're feeling freaky, then you can go ahead and just grab your knees and pull them up toward your chest and kind of scrunch yourself up like a little frog. And that allows deeper penetration as well and changes the narrowness of the vaginal canal a little bit to make it feel different for your partner too. And it's equal opportunity because whether he's longer stature or shorter stature, you know, most guys can penetrate that and still get a little enjoyment out of the good. So go look up those two songs by, what was the one by Lizzo again? I forgot.
Good as Hell, but also
Good as Hell by Lizzo, or Softest Place on Earth by Escape, and try that butterfly position. Report back next week and let us know what happened, people. Okay.
That part.
Here's my final shout out. Remember this, old wisdom, y'all. I'm gonna make some bullshit up. So according to Jasmine chapter 5, verse 22, you could never go wrong with a little cunnilingus. Okay. Have fun with that. Do what you do. Take it and run. Tell your people said Jay said. Okay. Jay said you got to give me some cunnilingus tonight. Okay. Go have fun. Make sure you hydrate. Make sure you eat you some fruit. Hydrate and eat you some fruit. That's all I'm saying.
You don't want to taste like sour grapes.
Oh, that
sour grapes. You don't want to taste like fish.
Oh my God.
I was trying to be nice.
Jesus Christ.
I'm trying to be real.
Y'all know what? Go hydrate and drink you some juice and eat you some fruit. Okay? Handle your business and make sure you wash good. Get a hot shower or a hot bath and get to it. And in the famous words of our dear brother, Tevin Campbell, what'd he say, Gypsy? What'd he say?
We outie 5,000.
Hey.